Hello YouTube, this is Rex again. I was thinking to shoot a video right now. I got a couple of new acquisitions in the collection, mostly Blu-rays, one book, and also I wanted to share some stuff that I was reading right now. Currently, I'm reading three books. I know if you, I don't think you've seen it yet. We haven't posted it yet, but we're gonna post. We had a mega Barnes and Noble haul. We visited four different Barnes and Noble, and we found a couple of really good things. Specifically me, I had like 10 books that I bought. The first book that I want to talk about that I'm reading from that haul, Saint Young Men. We're definitely me, Yash, and Jashan, and Galal. We're gonna do a manga tasting menu on this. I really, really, really love this manga. It's slice of life. It's funny, but not funny. Haha. It's a type of. It's funny in the way that let's see, who did the Father Brown Mysteries? I think G.K. Chesterton is. It's not it's sort of, you have to be in on the joke. You have to know the references, because there's a lot of references to Jesus and to Buddha that either you should it doesn't necessarily take away from the joke, but it adds that layer that I think really works. And I just really love how the writer and the artist Hikaru Nakamura can blend something so controversial as, religion, and these very iconic and global figures like Jesus and Buddha, and make it original, right? Make it refreshing, I should say, not original. So we're definitely gonna dive into that in a manga tasting menu, and maybe even do a couple more videos about this, because I really love this series right now. If you guys like it, please recommend me something similar to this, because I love it. Alright. The next book I've been reading is it's my first light novel. Jashan loves light novels, and he's been reading That Time I Got Turned Into a Slime. I think that's the title. Anyway, he sort of got me into thinking about reading light novels. So the first one I picked up was The Saga of Tanya the Evil. I know of the anime and I know of the manga. I'm only at the second chapter of this. I haven't seen the anime. I haven't read the manga. I just was interested in the fact that someone gets sort of reincarnated into the body of a girl that basically is a girl Hitler, right? She's a sociopath, and sort of that early 20th century kind of thing, like World War I, World War II era. It's good. It's dry. It's very dry, but I don't regret buying it, and I don't regret reading it. I think this is going to be somewhat of a slow read for me because of the footnotes. But it does get me interested in actually seeing the anime and reading the manga. So I'm excited to continually dip into this. Although I think I'll be finished with this in a couple of days. This one will probably take me a couple more weeks. Because it's dry, but it's entertaining in that way. The third book I've been reading, it's a book of essays by one of my favorite authors, H.P. Lovecraft. It's supernatural horror and literature and other literary essays. It's basically just one essay, supernatural horror and literature, written by H.P. Lovecraft. It's his dissection, I should say, of the weird fiction, its roots and its tropes. And then it adds on to that two, I guess, shorter pieces that he wrote: Notes on Writing Weird Fiction and Notes on Writing Interplanetary Fiction. For people who don't know, Lovecraft wrote in the early 20th century. He was from Providence, Rhode Island. He would be considered now a problematic figure, because I mean, even back then, he would have been considered quite racist in his views. He was a social Darwinist. He as as that documentary about Lovecraft, Fear of the Unknown, which a wonderful documentary about Lovecraft. Yeah, I think Del Toro is quoted as saying, like, he's one of the he's a what is it, Plymouth baby. He's from that old school. He's from the original. He's OG in that sense. He has he's an Anglophile. He has very staunch and very rigid views on how the world should be. But if you read any Stephen King, basically Stephen King cribbed a lot from him. Just it's fascinating. Not always his stories aren't always the best, but I take a lot from his work. I think he has a lot to offer, at least for me. All right. Now diving into my recent haul. Not as much as usual, but I think they're really good finds. The first one is for the Warner Archive collection. It's From Beyond the Grave. It's a 1970s a British anthology film starring Peter Cushing of Hammer horror fame and also Star Wars. Let's see, Donald Pleasance, Diana Dors. Let's see, Ian Bannon, Ian Carmichael. Let's see, David Warner. It's fascinating. It's just like I just love the cover, and I think I've seen this years ago when I was a kid. I just love the cover, and I want to revisit it if I have seen it already, and if I haven't, I mean, I'm sure I've seen at least clips of this. It's very familiar. At least the clips are. So I'm really interested in diving into this soon. Next, I purchased a couple of weeks ago the Cornetto trilogy on 4K, and recently Scott Pilgrim versus the World got released in 4K, and I had to have it. It was like $19.99. I think it's still $19.99. I think I had the Blu-ray of this, and then I stupidly sold it on one of those sites where you declutter your stuff, and so I rebought it, as all collectors do with their stuff, and I'm not gonna sell it. I want this in my collection forever. It's one of my favorite Edgar Wright films. I've never read the graphic novel. I will eventually once I get my hands on it. What should I get though? Should I get that hardcover box set where it's all in color, or should I get the original, square paperbacks? I don't know which was the better one. But anyway, I'm glad to have this back in my collection. I will also revisit this because it's so good. It's, I think, probably Michael Cera's last great. No, that's not true. He was really good in the last season of Twin Peaks, but I think it's maybe his last great leading man role. Could be wrong, but he hasn't really done much of anything, at least lately. Well, next, The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. Arrow released this on 4K. I got the special edition, not the jacked, like all these extras in the book and everything. I just got just the Blu-ray with no booklet. This 4K release comes with, let's see, a poster. Okay. It looks to be of the actual Blu-ray 4K cover, and it's reversible. I don't know if this is, I guess this is a reprint of the American 70s movie poster, which, I mean, I've been recently getting into Giallo, at least this year, and I love Baba. I, I love some Argento. I haven't seen all Argento films, but I mean, Bird with Crystal Plumage definitely a love. It comes with a booklet. It's not that bad. To be honest with you, I rarely read these. It's like on occasion I'll read these, but I just dive into the films and then the special features. I do love like putting on a commentary and just listening to it in the background, but I rarely read the books. But I want a booklet though if it's going to be included, you know. Next, it's the disc, the case. All right, all right. There's I guess a little card here for a possible future release. Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. There was a nightmare at the mall after the Phantom struck. I assume it's like a Phantom of the Opera type film, but at the mall. Maybe it's set in the 80s. Here's some. It's nice. I'm not gonna do anything with these, but like film postcards from scenes in the movie. If you've never seen this film, spoiler alert at this point, I guess. Although, I mean, it's from the 70s, so you really, I can't imagine anybody. Like, can you really be spoiled of a film that's over 30 years old? I can't. But yeah, I'm buying a lot of 4K now, and ironically, I don't have a 4K Blu-ray player. I'm eventually gonna get one. It's just kind of I'm hoarding releases so that when I get one, I can I can finally I can put it to good use by watching all these 4K boutique Blu-ray releases. So this is the Bird with the Crystal Plumage. It's Dario Argento's first film that he wrote and directed, considered the first official giallo. Yeah, I think it's part of his Animal trilogy. Um, just wonderful. I think it's better than Cat and Nine Tails. Um, it's been a while since I've seen Suspiria, but I preferred Bird with the Crystal Plumage to Cat and Nine Tails. Although I've also dipped into Sergio Martino's work, and I love his work. Very different. Very different. Continuing on with the Blu-rays, I got the new Vengeance Trails, 4 classic spaghetti westerns. Alright, check this out. Oof. Loaded with features. Alright, it's Massacre Time, My Name is Pecos, Bandidos, and God Said to Cain. They're directed each by Lucio Fulci, Maurizio Lucidi, Massimo Dallamano, Antonio Margaretti. Alright, it comes with, let's see, a poster. Not going to be using that poster ever. I'm not going to hang it anywhere. It's just going to be part of this goddamn collection. This one is for Massacre. Oh, sorry, no. Is it Massacre? No. Oh, okay. The one side is for Massacre. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, Massacre Time. Franco Nero. Next one is poster of Bandidos. These aren't bad. I like them. I love that. I love it when film posters they're illustrated versus the ones where they just use, a photograph or even a still. I don't know. There's something magical about it. A booklet. It looks like it's on glossy paper. It's nice. It looks really good. So the first one, Massacre Time. Another Phantom of the Mall card. My name is Pecos. This one's directed by Maurizio Lucidi. Reversible artwork. Okay. I've not seen any of these films, but I mean, I'm a fan of spaghetti westerns, of those like 70s genre, Italian genres. Uh, you know, spaghetti westerns were my gateway drug. You know, Good, Bad, the Ugly, Fistful of Dollars. The Grand Duel. All great films. And God Said to Cain. Klaus Kinski. Alright. Next. Oh. I also took advantage during the Camp Arrow sale to get Cinema of Conflict. I think it's a re-release. They put out a box set of this, I think last year. Now this one, the original one actually had a booklet, like all the Arrow box sets do, but this one doesn't. It just has the 4 films on 4 separate cases. So let's see, the first one, No End. It's Kieslowski's 4th film. It's considered his bleakest and most despairing. I mean, I've seen at least a quarter of his Decalogue, and I don't know. I mean, I think he makes really hopeful, beautiful films, but a lot of Decalogue, the ones I've seen in Decalogue are pretty dang bleak. And some of 3 Colors. I think the Juliette Binoche one is pretty bleak. No End looks really interesting. Skull. The Doorway. Alright, next. Blind Chance. It's sort of like sliding doors. I've seen it. I think Criterion released Blind Chance years ago, and I saw it and I just loved it. It's so good. Banned outright for 6 years and only available in a censored version until recently. It's Kieslowski's 3rd film. It is a nuanced and complex reaction to the political upheavals that Poland underwent at the turn of the 1980s. So the protagonist of Wittek is a self-consciously apolitical medical student, and then his life sort of changes when whether or not he catches a train. So it's sort of like in Sliding Doors, the film shows you like what would have happened if he caught that train or didn't catch that train. Really interesting take. It's a good film. Not my favorite Kieslowski, but I think really good. Next, this is my favorite Kieslowski. Camera Buff. So it's this guy who gets this film camera to record his wife's pregnancy, and I guess I guess what he would be considered like a vlogger now, and he finds an innate sort of passion and talent for shooting videos, and sort of becomes recognized in the factory where he works as the guy to go to for like when you want somebody to make something like a video for you, and it's sort of almost like talks about the perils of filmmaking and cinema, like the passion for cinema. I love that film. I love that film. It's so good. His first film, The Scar. It's about when Polish authorities decide to build a large chemical factory near the town of Oleko in hope of restarting its economy. But it seems as sort of the factory starts getting built underway, he sort of guess he becomes a bit delusioned to the idea. So I'm interested. It's Kieslowski. How can you not like Kieslowski? He's just a fucking brilliant filmmaker. Alright, next. Alright, last film or movie purchase. Daimogen. Oh, it's fucking heavy as all fudge. Yeah. It's beautiful. I think Yuko Shimizu did the artwork for this. It looks like something she would have done. Could be wrong. I could be very wrong. Let me see in the back. Who did the artwork? Yoshi tells you. Oh. It doesn't. It looked very Yuko Shimizu-esque. I mean, she's, you see her work, especially on the work of something like Lone Wolf and Cub or Godzilla, the Godzilla box set. Oh, hold on. Alright. Oh my god. It's like I'm opening. It's like Raiders of the Last Ark. I don't want to get it. I don't want to set off anything. Oh, I love these, like, top loading type box sets. Ah, so good. Alright. Alright, so, what do we got here? Alright. First things first. Got this beautiful booklet, which I'll never read, probably. No, that's not true. I'll dip into this eventually. But, it's beautiful nonetheless. Almost like, it's like a... Yeah, when you collect anything, you will... All collectors know this. You begin to fetishize the little things, you know? And booklets for Blu-ray aficionados. This art. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, no. Matt Frank did the artwork. I'm sorry. It says right there. Okay. Oof. Postcard for that. Reversible art sleeve. Oof. I know of Daimogen through the old, Midnite Eye website, Jasper Sharp and Tom S's site, in the early aughts. That was the website. And J-Film Powwow if you loved Japanese cinema. And, other places to go, but, that's when I remembered. That one. I think this one also includes a little poster, like the original film, and I guess a blown up Matt Frank one. What? If I had the money, I would buy original movie posters. I have no place to hang them up, so it would be one of those things where I just buy them, and I'd have to just wait until I could afford a house where I could show them off. Or maybe just, be one of those, rich art collectors that has, stuff that I can just visit, and, only my closest friends would ever be able to know that I'd have, but that's it. Yeah, that's a luxury, right? That would be my version of luxury, I guess. Ooh. Oh gosh, I love this. It's hefty too. It's very heavy compared to the other box sets. Next, Return of Daimajin. I'm not revealing them in order. Like, I'm not showing you the order in that they were released. Daimajin is obviously first. I think Return of Daimajin is the second one. This would be the second one. Again, another postcard, reversible artwork. I gotta get the Gamera set. I want that so badly. I get the one, like the Showa and the Heisei one, not the big one. I think. Kind of like how the ones that where they split it up by the eras looks, because then you join them together and you form this new Gamera. Oh my god. It's just, I feel lucky to be able to own these. I can say that much. They're so good. Okay. Next, the books. I bought some books because we like reading here. First is Jiro Taniguchi's The Walking Man. It's a manga. I've heard about this from forgot what website it was, but I think Jason Thompson, he used to do this feature, House of 1,000 Manga, or 10,000 Manga, and I heard about Jiro Taniguchi from him, and it's really just, it's like an Ozu film in manga form. It's about a guy who just walks around his neighborhood, and what he sees there. Some pages are in color. Most of it is in, black and white. Very little dialogue. It's more of like a tone poem. Each story, it's like a tone poem. They're very short chapters. Beautiful artwork. I can't wait to dip into this one. It's really good. And then the final thing is I have been watching a lot of giallo and a lot of genre and horror films, and one name that comes up in all these commentaries and special features is Kat Ellinger, and she has a book released by Arrow called All the Colors of Sergio Martino, and I thought it would be bigger, but nonetheless, very excited. I'll actually read this. I mean, this is going to be really good, and after I'm finished talking here, I'm going to be actually listening to an episode of her Daughters of Darkness podcast. I think I'm in the middle of episode 31, the Behind the Convent Walls episode. I think it's about Valerian Borowicz's film, non-exploitation film. I forgot what it was called. But thank you for joining me on this update. And please continue to watch our Midnight Society videos and subscribe. Like this video, please. Thank you. Have a good day.